So we're here again for another Join the Brave podcast, but today we've got the big man of the Caledonian Braves and Sport Academy. It's Chris Ewing. How you doing, Chris? You good?
Good, mate. How are you? You all right?
I'm not too bad, coping well. How are you doing over in France at the moment?
Good. Aye, stuck in the house with the wife and the three kids running riot and trying to get work done and homeschool. Apart for that, it's all good. It's fine. We're lucky actually. The girls are in good form, so that's the main thing. You know, if the kids are doing all right, then that's the main thing, I guess.
Yeah, they'll keep you going as well. That'll be good for you. Let's just kind of jump into it. I think the best thing with you is to kind of find out who you really are. So how did a young boy from Pollock end up being in Paris, owning an academy, a football club, and even a cola drink? How did that all happen?
Don't know, mate. Don't have a clue. Don't have a clue how I ended up here. I wish I could go back in time, change it all.
Yeah.
No, so as you say, I'm from Glasgow, south side of Glasgow, Pollock. Was a decent footballer, I guess, growing up, at school and stuff like that. I played for Paisley and District, had Scotland trials. I actually had a trial with St Mirren, believe it or not, you'll be happy to know that. They actually wanted to. St Mirren were actually going to sign me at the time, St Mirren. But I had a cousin at the time that played for Motherwell, a guy called Tommy Coyne back in the day, so it's going back a few years.
Yeah.
And he spoke to Alex McLeish and he said, so long story short, I ended up signing for Motherwell. And then we played St Mirren in the BP Cup the following week, and I scored the winning goal and put St Mirren at the Cup.
Oh, no.
So there you go. So I was really lucky, I played with Motherwell for a few years, and it was a really good experience for me coming out of high school and going and signing pro and playing alongside guys who are my mates today, big guys like Lee McCulloch and stuff like that. So that was great. But I realised quite quickly that as good a football player as I was at the time, I was never really good enough to go and make it in the game. I was really quite lucid and quite aware of that. And if I'm being honest, when I signed pro, as much as I loved football, when I signed professionally, I lost my passion a wee bit for the game.
Why?
I think because probably I was young, I didn't have that kind of mentality to go and crack on.
Yeah.
I don't like being that guy that said, "Oh, it was the coach's fault." But at the time, we didn't have. I believe, and it's only now when you look back, and I didn't feel we had a good coach at the academy, Motherwell's youth team, youth set up at that time. And it was difficult, I guess, going from being one of the best players at your school team to being very average and a really good team. I found it difficult to crack on, so I get freed. Eventually, I get freed from Motherwell, and I went and played for Stranraer. I kind of found myself going down the leagues, and I realised that it wasn't happening for me. I was quite fortunate because I had the opportunity to go to America on a scholarship, and it was that opportunity that kind of changed my life. When I went to New York, I realised that as much as I love Glasgow, there's other things out there,
So what did you get up to when you were over there?
What time does this podcast go at? Is there a watershed?
Yeah, go for it.
So, I mean, again, my cousin played a part in that because my cousin, I actually went to New York when I was 15. My cousin played for Ireland at the time. I don't know how old are you in 1994, Roy?
Me? 1984. No born, mate. No born.
So in 1994.
Minus 12.
1994?
1994, sorry, I thought you said 84. 94, I still wasn't even born. I'm 96.
Right, so anyway, I was 15, right, so I went over to America for the World Cup. Tommy Coyne was playing for Ireland, and it was the famous one where Ray Houghton, a Glasgow boy, scored the winner against Italy. And I was there at the time, and when I went to New York, I was just like blown away by it. I was like, wow, this is amazing, this place. And I was like, I need to come back here and live here. And to be fair, I got the opportunity when I left Motherwell, and I kind of realised there wasn't going to be a pro. I went to America on a scholarship, had a scholarship, played there for a couple of years, and that experience really just opened my eyes to what was out there. As much as I love Glasgow and Scotland, there's other things out there, so that was basically, I guess, how I ended up with Academy and that, because I realised that any kind of project that links football education and the experience abroad is something interesting. So basically it led me to set that up in 2011, I guess.
So it was America that kind of was the birth of the academy, was it France, or did it kind of?
It wasn't. No, the academy came long after I was in America. I mean, when I was in America, literally all I was doing was going to training, skipping classes, and drinking and going in nights out. So I was far too immature to really understand what an opportunity I had in America. If I'm being honest, I blew that. I had a scholarship in America. In New York, I ended up coming back to Glasgow. My dad had just passed away that time as well, so that was a difficult period for us. And when my dad actually died, he was 47.
Right.
So I was only 21 at the time. And that was a really difficult time for me because I turned to drink. So I was drinking all of that time and I was just getting it and I was just being the Tasmanian devil, really, if I'm being honest, out and about. And then I had the opportunity to go back to America. I went to Florida this time, and again it was the same thing. I was just I was just a young guy, and I really didn't really take advantage of the opportunity I had. I ended up in France. When I came back from Florida, I was in Glasgow for a few months. I was working in a pub called The Bunker. Don't know if you know it.
Yeah, been a couple of times.
I don't know if you'd get any of The Bunker right, to be fair. Your
No.
dressing.
It's not bad. I get it a couple of times, don't worry.
So I was working in The Bunker for minimum wage, and actually I was up the art school, and a French girl had came up to me one day, like up the art school, I was having a few beers with my mates, and she chatted me up. She was like, "I like your T-shirt and that." And long story short, we hooked up a few times.
Right.
And she went back to France. She was on Erasmus, so she was like a student in Glasgow. She was at Strathclyde Uni. She went back to France and we kept in touch. And she was like, "Why don't you come to Paris?" And I thought, you know what, why don't I go to Paris? So I went to Paris. Literally, I bought a Ryanair ticket. I gave myself 10 days. I had £40 in my pocket. Foolishly thought that £40 would last me 10 days in Paris. And I came to Paris literally with no money, no French, no real idea of what I was doing. And I thought, if I get a wee job in Paris, I'll see what I can do. And I did. I got a job the first night I was in. The first night I was in Paris, I got a job in an Irish pub. Right. It was actually later on in that Irish pub that I would meet my wife. So Paris has been good to me.
What was the main reasons for staying? Was it because you met who is your wife now? Was that the main reason for staying over there?
The main reason for staying was because I knew if I was going back to Glasgow, I was sleeping in my mum's couch in Pollock, and that's enough to put anybody off.
Right, that's fair enough comment. Maybe not for your mum, but fair enough. Was it?
But I remember when the 10 days came and went. Like I remember when I bought a ticket for 10 days, and I thought, right, cool. And I remember waking up that morning, and I thought my flight's due back to Glasgow today. And I thought, you know what, I'm not going back, man. I'm staying here, man. Yeah. And I was like, and I stayed. But to be honest, it wasn't easy. It was really, really difficult. The first few weeks was cool because you're in Paris and you're kind of living the holiday a wee bit. But then it kind of sets in that you're working again minimum wage. Or you're working in Paris, but you're still minimum wage. You don't speak the language. The girl who I was staying with at the time, I didn't fancy her at all. So I was like, you know, I can't. I'm not into this. I need to try and get my own flat and that. And I had no money and all that kind of thing. So for about a year, I was kind of kicking about, bombing about, going from sofa to sofa, and you know. So, but I mean, I guess that's what if somebody was to say, what was your defining moment? It's probably because after like 4 or 5, 6 weeks in Paris, I didn't chuck it. You know, I didn't go back to Glasgow. I think a lot of people probably might have said, you know what, just go back. But I kind of stuck at it, and I came over the difficult time, and I met my wife, and you know, I kind of went from strength to strength, I guess, you know.
How far into being in France did it take for the idea for the academy to come up then? Again, and to put into like a plan?
To put things in the timescale into context, I came to France in 2004 and I set up the academy in 2011.
Okay.
So I was here a good while before I had the idea to set up the academy. I had my first business I set up here was called EduSport USA. And I used to place young French footballers in American universities, similar to what I had done myself. But actually, what kind of the opportunity I had after about a year of working in the pubs, I thought, you know, I can't do this, because literally all you're doing is working at night, getting drunk, waking up the next morning and doing it all again. And that might be a dream to some people, but after a few months of that, it's just like, you know, it's not funny anymore. So I said, what can I do? And obviously, with my background in football, I wanted to do something in football. So I had the audacity, if you like, or the brass neck to phone up Paris Saint-Germain and ask them if they're looking for a coach. And I know that sounds crazy, but actually I phoned up to see if they were looking for coaches for their summer program, you know, like the summer camps, because they have a lot of international kids going that. So I was asking them basically if they needed anybody that spoke English, that knew a wee bit about football. And to be fair, I ended up getting a job there. So I could say to people I had PSG on my CV, which got me out the bars. Got me out the bars, get me into coaching, and then I got a job in the American School of Paris as a coach.
Right.
And then I started to slowly but surely kind of find a normal working routine that gave me my days back, and I could really just get a normal job. And then that led me into EduSport USA, and then obviously into the academy in 2011.
What was the kind of when you started the academy? Obviously, you led about, was it 18 players in the first year? What made you think that it was going to continue? Did you know it was going to continue, or did you think it was just going to be a one-off thing?
No, I mean, I said to myself, right, what do I know here? And I said, like, okay, an academy could be good. How do you do it? Right, you need accommodation, you need football coaches, you need a facility, all that kind of thing, English language. So I spent about 6, 7 months before the academy just putting all of that into place. And then I tried to market it. At that time, there was no Facebook or Twitter or Instagram or anything like that. It was just literally, I took out an advert in France Football, which is like a newspaper, football newspaper. It was like literally like 4 centimetres by 2 centimetres, and it was just like Football Academy in Scotland. And I remember sitting waiting for the phone to ring. And I remember at the time I was on holiday skiing with my wife, and I thought, this is not going to work. Nobody's phoning me, nothing's happening. And then slowly but surely, somebody would phone and ask for some more information. And then before I knew it, I held like what we call a detection, which is like a showcase event. And we had like maybe like 30 players came to it. And I had to sell the academy to those 30 players. I had to explain what it was all about. I remember I was really nervous. My French was terrible. I was sweating. The computer I was using broke down halfway through it. And I resigned myself to the fact that I said, you know what, this is never going to work. This academy, it's like just not going to happen. So I was at the point, then I said to the guys, and the 30 guys, let's take a break, come back in. And they came back in, and I thought all was lost. So I was a lot more relaxed. And it ended up like from those 30 guys, 18 guys signed. And that gave me the first year of the academy, which gave me an opportunity to build something. And I always say that first year, I look back on it fondly. I don't know if I'd like to repeat it. I was the assistant coach, I was the taxi driver, I was the kit man, I was everything.
Wow.
But we got through it. And I look back in that year with a bit of nostalgia, because my wife and Josephine, who was only 3 at the time, we moved back to Glasgow for that year. My wife actually gave birth to her second child in Glasgow that year. So as much as it was a challenging time, I look back with fond memories, and we've been able to grow the academy year upon year. So we started off with 18 students, and now we're up to 80, with different sports. So it's been a good journey, to be fair.
How long did it take you to realise that you were going in the right direction and that you were going to make it a really successful academy in Scotland and the UK? How did you know it was good? When did you know?
Nah, you don't know that. The only thing that you can really know, the only thing you can do is be honest with yourself. I know that sounds a bit cheesy, but you can only be honest with yourself and try and do things the right way, right?
Yeah.
And if you can be honest with yourself and know that you're genuinely trying to do things the right way for the right reasons, then you have to put your trust and hope and faith in the fact that it's going to work. And if it doesn't work, then so be it. Maybe it's the market, or maybe there's there's no need for it, or maybe you're just not good enough at your job. But I always had that faith in myself that I was doing it for the right reasons. I always knew that I was honest with myself, and I believed also, like, I mean, I've done it now for 9 years. There's yet to be somebody that's to tell me that combining sport and education is a bad idea. So I think the very fundamentals of that, go a long way to actually making it successful. And then, of course, the fact that we're in Scotland, it's a small country, it's very passionate about football, and I've always said this, having good people around about you. So at the start, I had a guy called Chris Hillcoat, who was my head coach, and he was brilliant for me. He done everything, and he was great, and he stayed with me for a few years. And we had Guillaume Buzzelin came in as well, who's now the assistant manager at Hamilton Accies, and obviously Ricky came in.
Yeah.
Ricky, when he first started working for me, looked about 12-year-old. It's about 52.
Oh, I don't want to give it age now.
No comment. But it's just having good people about you. I know, again, that sounds really cheesy, but it's any football club or any football academy or any job, really, any company is only good as its people. I think we've got some really good ones around about us.
What kind of moment since you started the academy has maybe made you realise I've made something special here? Was it when you added other sports, or was it when you realised that the football club were going to apply for a membership to make it a club? What moment kind of hit you in the head and went, I've made something special here?
I don't know. There's been a lot of. I don't know if I would say I've made something special. It's really not for me to say, really. I guess I think if you're saying, do I take? Of course, I take a lot of pride in what we've done. For example, just there this year at the Christmas party, we're in the Corinthian, and I'm at the bar just watching everybody and seeing all of my players and staff and students having a great time. That's when I realise I've done something special. When I see the friendships that the academy creates, so you get people from all over France, from rugby, basketball, football, the women's football, and you see them, the friendships that have developed through that, then you know that you've done something that's of value and worthwhile. And when you see we guys joining the academy, and after a year with us, they become men, they're stronger, they're confident, that's when you know that you've done something good. But again, there's so many things that we can look back at and say, oh, that was a turning point, or that was great. Like getting into the South of Scotland League was brilliant. Ricky and I went away down to, I don't even know what it was, somewhere in the deepest, darkest south of Scotland for an AGM. I think that, and to be fair to those guys at that AGM, they voted us into the league, and that was a game changer because it gave us a football club. Up until then, we just had an academy, and that gave us a football club, gave us an opportunity, gave us a platform to go and build something. We won the South of Scotland League that year as well. We became the first football team of foreign nationals to win a senior competition in Scotland. So the South of Scotland Football League trophy was actually displayed in the National Football Museum at Hampden for 2 years, because we actually retained it the following year. So that's something that a lot of people don't know.
Yeah.
So there's been loads and loads. The first time I recruited a rugby player. That was a nice moment because it's totally out of my comfort zone. I don't have a clue about rugby.
Right.
I like watching Scotland winning the odd game now and again. Basketball, same, but it's been so many good moments, to be fair.
Yeah, so you touched on it there about, like, we'll start moving into how Eddie becomes the Braves and things like that now. So you mentioned the SFA membership. Was that a tough task at the time?
It was a really, really tough task. It was a nightmare, in fact, because just because of the very nature of who we are and who we were. It's a French football academy, young French guys, and a lot of people didn't really take time to understand what we were trying to do. And as much as I love Scottish football and as much as I appreciate the opportunity that we've had, it's a very, very difficult environment. It's a very traditional environment. It doesn't embrace necessarily change so easily. And as you can imagine, just an academy of French footballers coming on the scene, a lot of people didn't really know how to take that. So the first time I realised that we were up against it really was when we tried to get into the Lowland League. So when the Lowland League set up, it was open to application. So we applied to get into the Lowland League. I get invited to come from France to meet with the Lowland League board. So I flew all the way over from France. There was a meeting down in the south of Scotland. Pitched up and explained who we were and why we were trying to get into the Lowland League. And basically our application was rejected. And the reason they had given me for the rejection was that we didn't have membership in the SFA. So, but they knew that before I flew from France to Scotland, so I was a little bit disappointed with that. So then we applied to get membership with the SFA. The SFA refused us initially because quite simply they didn't really understand or appreciate the business model. So I had to go back and fight my corner again with the SFA Professional Game Board. To be fair to Stuart Regan, he gave me the opportunity to come in and meet with the board, so I had to go in and had the opportunity to defend the club. And to be fair to the guys in the SFA, they looked at it again and they actually gave us SFA membership the second time around, which was brilliant as well. And that was a very proud moment because you think about the history that goes with Scottish football, and we were literally the brand new member club, that's only been about for a couple of years, and through the unique nature of it. So that was something and I continue to be very proud of that to this day, that we have SFA membership. And then we tried to get in the Lowland League again through application. I think it was ourselves, Hoyk, and Civil Service Strollers, I believe, and there was 2 out of 3 were allowed to get in, and us, we were the number 3, so they didn't let us in. And what kind of rubbed salt into the wounds is we tried to better understand where we fell short, because it was a kind of point system. Okay. They wouldn't give us any feedback in that, so that was disappointing again. So the only way we were going to get into the Lowland League was by winning the league. And we did, so we went ahead and done it the hard way, which was even better, so yeah, good.
First team to get promoted in the pyramid system as well, if I'm not wrong.
Exactly, yeah. First team to get promoted from tier 6 into tier 5. So again, that was But that was again a wee bit bittersweet. I'm not here to bring up negatives, but it's maybe it's good for the listeners to understand a wee bit of the history where we came from and how we have had to fight for everything. Because even then, when we won promotion, I think it was Lothian Thistle Hutchie Vale who were on course to win the East of Scotland. So there was supposed to be a playoff, but they didn't have the licence yet. So no one came out and confirmed that we would actually get promoted. It was literally weeks and weeks. So everybody was kind of holding off, like I guess maybe hoping that Lothian Thistle Hutchie would get the licence to play off. And eventually we did get promoted, but it was a bit anticlimactic, if I'm being honest, because we didn't really have any information and it was kind of last minute. And then again, when we went to my first AGM, my first SFA AGM, where they read it, they go through all the clubs and they congratulate all the clubs from Celtic winning the Premiership all the way down the Championship, League 1, League 2, Highland League, South of Scotland, East of Scotland. And we were the only club of all of the senior leagues not to get congratulated on winning the league and won the South of Scotland. So I don't know if they forgot about us or just oversight maybe, I don't know. But that was again a wee bit different. But listen, man, that's life and that's what happens and we're beyond that, and we're well and truly in the lonely gone merit. I think people know who we are now. They know the kind of coaches we have, they know the kind of football we play and the club that we're trying to be, and I think we're well accepted and dare I say it, liked in certain quarters.
Yeah.
So it's all good, and so I'm looking very much towards the future, being positive. I don't want to drag up, but it's important, I guess, that people realise where we have came from.
Yeah, it's just talking about that before we go on. Just you said there that you feel a bit of acceptance now. At the start, there was obviously a lot of criticism on the club when we came into the leagues. Oh, who's these French guys? Things like that. How did you personally deal with that?
Okay, it doesn't bother me. It inspires me. I quite enjoy that, to be fair.
Right.
You genuinely find seeing life, right? See people who are positive and achievers and ambitious. They'll never criticise anybody for being ambitious. It's generally people that don't really tend to do anything or who are insecure themselves that look to try and criticise people. So that I've never been fazed by that at all. It kind of motivates me, it stimulates me to go and at the end of the day, doesn't it? I mean, at the end of the day, as long as I'm doing my best for my staff and my family, then other people's opinion really has nothing to do with me. That's what somebody once told me. 99% of what people think has absolutely nothing to do with me. So when you do go and, but it's and it's, but no, I mean, you're always going to get criticism no matter what walk of life or where you are. But I guess when you are ambitious and when you do come, into a traditional environment like what is obviously Scottish football, then you are opening up yourself to opinion, which is fine and it's fair enough. Some of that opinion might be negative, which is fine and it's fair enough. And again, everybody's entitled to their opinion. The only thing that kind of annoys me, I guess, if I'm being honest, is people that form an opinion that have no education on why they would have that opinion, and they just jump to conclusions. So a lot of people say, oh, it's the French guys trying to get into pro clubs and, they don't, or the French guys and they pay a lot of money for that, or they do this. And people, it's just that people have been quite ignorant and they haven't actually taken time to research what is Edge Sport Academy or what is Caledonian Braves or who is Chris Ewing or who is Ricky Waddle or, and you tend to find that people that take a moment to actually find out a little bit more about us tend to better understand us and the feedback's far more positive.
Yeah, and I think it's really positive this year. You can even see, I don't want to say the word acceptance because we've been in the league for a few years now and everyone kind of understands us as a club, but it's obviously since our rebranding, you've kind of noticed that everyone just looks at us like we are another club. It's not the French guys anymore. It's not who these guys have came up from the league. It's just Caledonian Braves who are in the Lone League. That must be positive for yourself now, though, that it's been quite quick. But is that to do with things like you said earlier about the results, the way we play? Do you think that's got a major impact on that?
I think it's a lot of that. I think it's also because the Lone League itself has a far more respect within Scottish football because of the standard of it. So for us being a part of that and actually doing well in it, doing reasonably well and consolidating our position as a Lone League club, I think that goes a long way to the credibility of the club. I think the way that Ricky tries to get the guys playing, the players that we have, all of that kind of thing adds to it. And I think as well, people who are within football, they realise how hard it is to set up a football club. They realise, well, they should at least, they realised how hard it is for a club to have its own football ground. BSC, with the greatest respect, fantastic club, well run, but they've been trying to get a facility in Glasgow for years. Glasgow City Ladies, the same. They've been trying to get a facility in Glasgow for years that they can call their own home. So for us to be able to, engage with North Lanarkshire and get Alliance Park up and running, to be able to get a club licence relatively, dare I say it, quickly, where other clubs have maybe struggled. I think people look at that and say, well, okay, they're doing, some things right, and I think we get a bit of respect from people that know the game, essentially.
So just kind of looking at when we were in the Lowland League, and then in our second season, what made OFC, our football club, like, why was that a pivotal moment in our history when you created this? And maybe touch on maybe what it is for folk who are listening and might not know what it is.
Right, well, our football club was obviously, it was a project that I set up a couple of years ago to try and, transform Edusport Academy into a football club in its own right. And that was basically because when I set up Edusport Academy, it was just a private football academy, essentially so I could, give myself a job. And when I get the guys into the league, and I think it was 2014, the South of Scotland League, I didn't really have any ambition or plan to go up through the divisions. It was just really to get the guys playing in a league together. Then we went and done the unthinkable, which was actually going and win the league, which is great for everybody. But it actually gave me a headache the following seasons in terms of the business model, because we realised quite quickly that, with the greatest respect to young French guys, if they were just coming in and going and playing in the lower league, we'd probably get relegated quite quickly. So we had to consolidate the position, bringing in some Scottish players, and obviously you guys get expenses and different things like that, and it adds up over the course of a year. So the idea was to create a business model where the club itself became sustainable, independent of the academy, and it wasn't the academy financing the club. So our football club was an ambitious attempt to get a fan base online that would pay £25, like a type of crowdfunding, if you like, to have a vote and a say in the running of the club. So we set that up, and we had over 800 members from 35 different countries sign up, which kind of blew my mind, if I'm being honest, because it just shows you the power of internet and people's love for football. We had people from all over the world, and those guys went on to vote on a name change and a new identity for the club, which basically gave birth last season to Caledonian Braves.
Yeah, do you think the club would be the same as just now without OFC, or do you think that was the pinnacle, like you needed that for longevity?
One of the criticisms, there was always a criticism like, oh, Edusport Academy is it's not a real football name. People would say even now Caledonian Braves is not a real football name, but we're in 2020, so I think I don't know I think, if I'm being honest, our football club probably came a year too soon. I think the idea was a good one. I think the intentions were good. I just think that probably myself, on retrospect, looking back, I wasn't prepared to deal with what was involved in actually making it a success. So we set up a website. It worked okay. It's only now that we're actually getting around to releasing an app. I think if we had done that at the same time, released the app plus the kind of OFC thing, it would have probably had far more impact. So it's been good because it gives us a new identity. The fact that we've moved into Alliance Park this year as well, and it's shown that there is an appetite for this kind of project. People do want to have a say. They do want to be involved in running a club. So it's exciting.
What's the kind of best thing you've heard from one of our members to you about, like, the way they kind of want the club to run? Is there anyone who's kind of came up with some kind of wacky ideas or things like that to you, and you've kind of went, oh, that's great, or no, we can't do that, we need to think about
a few of the guys saying, there's a few of the guys saying we need a new media guy.
All right, okay. I've not heard anything of the sort.
I was going to the vote next week, mate. Looking for a new media guy.
Oh, I'm hoping I pledge myself for some votes there. Has there been anyone who's kind of came to you with some really good ideas and you thought, like, I wouldn't have thought of that without you? Was it from someone local? Was it from someone abroad? It was just a kind of collective of the members?
Nah, there's no. To be fair, there's no been anything like that at the moment. Because if I'm being honest, when we launched our football club the last season, basically the whole last year, it's kind of been like suspended. Since we've creating the app and all that kind of thing. So we're looking to really start again with the launch of the app in the next couple of weeks. We're looking to really start again, re-engage with the fans, get more people to sign up, and then we'll crack on. I think people are just quite I mean, the hardcore fans that are involved in the chats and stuff, I think they're just quite happy to be involved in this type of project, and it gives them an interest. And the feedback from those guys has been really, really good. We just had a guy the other day sign up from Australia.
Okay.
So that just shows you again, you get a guy in Australia, and it's actually a real Australian. It's not like a Scottish guy living in Australia who's heard of the club for somebody back home. It's just been an Australian. So if somebody in Australia can sign up to support and watch a Lowland League club, then it shows you the power of and the potential of the project.
Yeah, definitely. And you mentioned there that through OFC, the vote came for the name change, and from then Caledonian Braves was born last year. What part of from last year, maybe last summer, did you realise we've got a proper football club here now?
I think I wouldn't like to do the boys who came in to Edge Sport Academy a disservice, because we are where we are from those guys that came in and won the league and won the cups. And so I wouldn't I always felt that those guys were a proper football club. So it's maybe be doing them a disservice to just think that we're only a proper football club now.
Right. Okay.
But I do think it does give us it gives us an identity. It gives us a platform. It gives us an opportunity to build something. I think when we moved into Alliance Park this year as well. I know the public transport's not the best, so that's a challenge, but it does give us that opportunity to say, this is our home ground. Let's see what we can do. Can we get fans? Can we get people to come along? Again, it's a challenge, but it's an opportunity. And I've always said, and I'll continue to say, the only thing you can ever ask for in life is an opportunity. And then, you try and make it work. So I think being Caledonian Braves, as opposed to Edge Sport Academy, having our own home ground, and being able to sign some of the quality Scottish players that we have been able to sign, and actually have a real opportunity to create an ethos and a kind of footballing culture, if you like, beyond just the French players coming into the academy, is something that's really exciting. And we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I think it's still early days. This season has been the first season that we've started off with but again, it's a brand new squad. So moving into next season, if we can keep the majority of the players, it'll be the first season that we've ever had that we actually have any kind of longevity with the squad, because every year it's a turnover. So hopefully we'll keep the most of the squad this year, and we'll be able to build on that.
Yeah. So, and from the squad this year, why do you think it's been successful both on the pitch and off the pitch?
How is it? On the pitch, that's obviously it's just the players that Ricky's brought in it, and obviously Colin and who's here, and Richie, and just everybody trying to pull together. I think the biggest problem for us, obviously, is just finding a wee bit of consistency, because we've proven that we can go toe to toe with the big clubs. I feel like we've beaten East Kilbride, Spartans, and Kelty have beaten us twice, but it's we've played well, and maybe on a different day, and same with Bonnyrigg. So we have proven that we can go and compete at that level. So just finding that consistency. But again, I think it's a bit, and I know this is a bit cheesy and it's a bit cliche, and people are quite quick to jump in that. But it's about people, and it's about trying to get the right, obviously good football players, of course, and guys that want to learn, and guys that want to get better, and guys that want to help each other. But it's about also guys that feel good together in a dressing room, and creating that environment where everybody's just positive. And I think Ricky's been able to do that this year. So hopefully we can again build on that, and with the experience we've had this year as a new squad and a new group, and maybe adding in a couple of more experienced senior players to help the younger guys, then there's no reason why we can't have a good crack at try to get up the table.
Yeah. Talking about the players, you must be impressed by the fact that we've managed to lure in players like Davy Winters, who's a legend of the Scottish game, and he played in all the leagues. He's won every league medal apart from the Premiership. You've got young talent like Neil McLaughlin coming through, who's, in my opinion, one of the best players in this league. You must be impressed with the kind of calibre of players we're now bringing in. No disrespect to players before, obviously, but it's just this season we've built, and you kind of want to just build again next year.
No, really. I know. But again, it speaks to me. It speaks a lot about Ricky, because obviously Ricky's went and he's basically been able to inspire the guys to come into Caledonian Braves. Because where I'm really impressed with every single player, you mentioned Davy Winters and Neil McLaughlin, but every player that's came to Caledonian Braves this year, where I'm most impressed is the fact that their willingness to be part of this club, because it is coming to Caledonian Braves is a difficult choice. Going to an East Kilbride or a Spartans or a BSC or a he's Stirling or a Kelly. That's the easy choice. But to come to a brand new club that's run by an online group of fans that has no history, if you like, that has no fans, if you like, that's the hard choice, But those guys have made that choice because they believe in the club, they believe in the passion in myself and Ricky, and they want to be part of something. They want to try and be part of something that's new and it's innovative and hopefully quite exciting for them. So it speaks volumes of their character there.
Yeah, see for you, see obviously you obviously live in Paris. Does it kind of, do you feel like you'd never get to come to the games as much as you'd like to? Do you feel a bit away from the club at times, or are you still able to kind of feel like
Aye,
the same amount of attachment you do as compared to what Ricky and the guys will feel?
terrible. It's horrible. See, being in Paris on a match day. See, because I obviously I get the next year we'll have the games live streamed, but through Twitter, and it's a nightmare when you're in Paris because at least when you're in Scotland, win, lose or draw, you feel part of it. You can be part of it, and that's one of my problems because I still feel like I'm one of the boys. Do you know what I mean? And that's I'm the owner of the club, and but I love being in the dressing room before the game, and you might argue it's maybe not my place. I like obviously Ricky and coaches do the team talks and that, but I just like being about things. I miss that. And I think it's good as well for the guys to see me about and see how much it means to me. And I'm the owner, but it means so much to me, the club. And I love to see when the guys do well, and I love to see them enjoying it. So when I'm in Paris, and my wife's dragging me around IKEA, or I'm cutting the grass on a Saturday afternoon watching the score, I feel so helpless. Particularly when we lose. I'm a really bad loser,
Yeah.
Maybe a good thing. I've never really liked a good loser.
No.
But it does. I mean, it does make you feel a wee bit further away, obviously, and you feel like you can't do anything. You can't share in the highs. You can't share in the lows. But no, I get back often enough, and when I'm back, when we win, it's great.
Yeah. You spoke about Ricky quite a bit in a lot of the kind of previous questions, but how important is Ricky to you? For maybe the Braves and the academy, how important is he?
Ricky's been great with the academy, and particularly the academy because obviously the Braves is what it is today. But I mean, Ricky's been great since day one, since he came in. Ricky actually came in as a guest coach with Chris Hillcoat, had brought him in as a guest coach. I think he just came back from America at the time. He was playing in Los Angeles or something like that. And then that following season, we needed a coach. We brought him in, and he's just really taken ownership of the academy and developing the players. And it's really important for me as well. Obviously, living in Paris, that you have people that you can trust. When I'm not there to manage it day in, day out, actually, in Glasgow, then you need people that you can absolutely trust that will do a job for you and do things the way you want it to be done. And with Ricky, that's always been the case. We have, like everybody, we have our ups and downs, we have our fallouts, we have our fall-ins, and but we're always the relationship I have with Ricky, and I'm sure he would agree, is we're always challenging each other to be better, and he's challenging me and I'm challenging him. And if it's done with a mutual respect and a mutual understanding that we're doing it for the right reasons, then we will always improve. But he's been great, and you can see, we've done a documentary as well. Don't know if you wanted to touch on that, but when I watched the documentary, I was so proud, not only of Ricky, but everybody that's in that documentary, because again, it's just everything's about people. It's about everybody just trying to pull together to do well. Because at the end of the day, it's a job. At the end of the day, we want to enjoy our job, we want to enjoy our work, and we want it to mean something. And if we can't enjoy our job in football, and if we can't be passionate and try to, get everybody pulling in the right direction through football, which we all love, then we're struggling. So, no, Ricky, to answer your question, Ricky's been great. Really, really good.
Yeah, you mentioned the documentary. That was the next question. The app that we're going to be launching that you mentioned as well, the documentary that we've got, and we're building a new website as well at the moment. Is that the factors that's going to push us into the next era of the club?
Hope so. Hope so. Long story short, short answer. But who knows? But you know what? The whole thing. See with the Caledonian Braves, right? See you get a brand new football club with no real history, if you like. Okay, if you think, what's the average age of a football club in Scotland?
It's got to be at least 100 years. Or more.
100 years average, right? For example, right? And we are what? If you take Caledonian Braves, you can say 1 year old, right? If you take Edge Sport Academy, you say 5-6 years old, okay? And the average age is like 96 or 100 years old. We don't have any kind of community because it's born from a French football club. For the last 4 years, we're playing down in Annan. Someday, tell me, how do we create a community? How do we do something out with the norm? How do we go and compete with Motherwell's, Hamilton Accies, Rangers, Celtic, Albion Rovers, Clydes, even DSC, Commonwealth Coach. You have to do something different. Okay, so where people see us as being at a disadvantage because of those things I've just mentioned, I see that as being an opportunity for us. So we don't have a board of committee, we don't have a conflict of interest. So the whole idea is to try and gain traction by doing something different, doing the documentary to show people what we're all about behind the scenes. Hopefully people watch the documentary when it goes on, hopefully the telly or whatever, and they'll get an affinity towards the club. And the fact that we're launching an app, hopefully people will be interested to go and download it and have a look at it. And hopefully that just makes us that wee bit different from another club. And if it can kick us on, if we can get fans to sign up, and if we can use that as a business model, then obviously fantastic. If it doesn't work, then at least we've tried, and we'll continue to try.
Yeah. Do you have any long-term visions for the club, or are you just kind of seeing how we go over the next couple of years while we are still in that kind of birthing period of the club?
The vision is just to be, I think, if we're being pragmatic about it, is to create a sustainable business model, and obviously create a fan base, a local fan base where people can actually come and watch the games and enjoy it. When I launched OFC back in the day, I said the ambition was to get to the Premiership by 2025, and I was ridiculed. That was before Celtic came into the league, right enough. But again, it's good to be ambitious, and I think that the whole thing about the pyramid system, it does offer clubs like ourselves and like Celtic and like BSC and East Kilbride and the rest to be ambitious and have an incentive to try and get up to the leagues. So that's great. In terms of the vision, if we can over the next 2-3 years, get a good squad in the park that can go and challenge at the top end and get into League Two, then that has to be the kind of short to medium term objective, I guess.
So we're kind of now at current times. How has the club been affected by COVID? I know you've been speaking a lot about this recently, and you've been a busy man the past couple of weeks just trying to deal with it. But how has the club been affected by it?
I mean, the good thing is we're unbeaten since COVID.
that's the plus,
So that's the good thing. It's a really difficult one because as a business owner, right, and even I guess as a player, but from one personal point of view, you can't legislate for this kind of thing, It's just something you can think about X, Y, Z. You can get injuries, you can get suspensions, you can get a change of coaching staff or whatever. But this kind of thing at this scale across world football is just unprecedented, So it's difficult because I have a responsibility to staff and to players to pay them, and also have a responsibility that the club and the business, is still here next season, and and we have a financial model that's coherent and stable. So it's finding the balance, but everything's up in the air, isn't it? Because you don't know how the season is going to finish. Is it suspended, or will we finish the season? How do we recruit for next year? What kind of budget are we going to have? All of these things are still very much up in the air. And you can maybe say the only saving grace for us is we're kind of mid-table. So in terms of the league position, that's not affected really. So like Celtic and Bonnyrigg again, it's for the second year in a row biting their nails, because they had such problems last year in terms of coming into the lower league, and then clubs at the bottom of the tables as well. So it's difficult. But to be fair to the guys at the SFA, they've done well in terms of they've been really good at communicating things with us.
Yeah.
Maxwell. And I think the lower league board are probably just waiting as well to see how things pan out a wee bit before they jump into any decision. So, but the guys have been good. Ricky's obviously been good with the academy, and the coaches at the academy just try to give them stuff to do. And the players, I think the players all understand where we are with that as well. Obviously everybody's desperate to get back playing football, but it just shows you how you can take things for granted that can be taken away from you.
Yeah, it's just strange times. If you had an opinion on it, how do you think the leagues should finish? Should there be promotions? Should it be null and void? Like, what's your opinion?
I think they should promote the team with the best strips.
Okay, which will be us because we'll get 6.
Hopefully, aye. Everybody likes the black one, but no, it's a difficult one, isn't it? Because I mean, you would say, okay, well, Celtic have been brilliant this season, on top of the league, but you would still say, well, if Bonnyrigg can win it, it's not mathematically impossible for them to win it. It would be unfair. Genuinely, I don't. The only thing I was thinking about that you could possibly do is just play the league behind closed doors. something like that, and just cram the games in, and just literally, even if it's like a Saturday, Monday, Wednesday, Saturday, something like that, just to tick the box and get it done. I don't think people would have much of a problem with that towards the end of once we're through confinement and stuff like that. I don't really see any other logical way to finish it unless it's just an expunged season. I think that would be a travesty because people have obviously put a lot of money into this season, and ambitious clubs, and it would be a shame if all of that was to be in vain.
Yeah. Do you think the Highland League were quite quick to make their decision, or do you kind of merit them on making a quick decision?
I don't know. I mean, the Dales was a completely different situation. I think because Borough were so far ahead, so they, and obviously they don't have relegation.
Yeah,
Do
that's
they?
the biggest point.
So,
They don't have any relegation, so.
so it was a no-brainer for them. It was. You could maybe argue that if they wanted to, show a bit of solidarity to their compatriots in the Lowland League and the Football League, they could have held off with that, because by them making that decision, it puts other leagues under a wee bit of pressure. Maybe you could argue that. But yeah, no, I don't know. I don't envy the guys at the SFA or
No.
in the Lowland League. But again, I think whatever happens, whatever happens, people will be probably some satisfied, some not so satisfied. But I think whatever happens, you have to trust people's judgment, because this is, again, it's just such a bizarre state of affairs. And I think we have to remember that people are actually, literally hundreds and hundreds of people are dying on a daily basis. So
Yeah.
football, as much as we love it and as much as it's important, it does it's quite insignificant in comparison.
Yeah. Let's kind of. So I've asked the guys a couple of questions, kind of, if you had isolation kind of type questions. So we'll put it to you as well and see what you come up with. See if you've got any good answers for this. But how, if you had to be isolated with two footballers, say past, present, who's your idols growing up? Who would you choose, and why are you choosing them?
I was going to say David Sinclair and Ross McNeil, but after hearing them on the podcast all night, I think
No,
I'll skip them.
no, have to deal with them for days on day.
We'll have another chat. No.
No.
I was, I used to, and I still do love Ali McCoy. I always thought he was brilliant, good chat. So Ali McCoy's in there for a bit of crack. Paul Gascoigne maybe.
Okay.
Gaza and McCoy should be a laugher.
You'd go up at the wind-ups for Gaza, wouldn't you?
That would be a lot of fun.
Aye.
I don't know. There's a lot of people you could have. There's a lot of people, but we'll go for Gaza and we'll go for Ali McCoy's.
Right. Okay. This is the one I quite liked. Was what's your favourite game that you could rewatch over and over? Obviously, there's no live football. You're having to rewatch games again. What's one game that stands out in your head? Was it maybe a game to do with the Braves or the Academy, or is it one you've been at, one you've watched on the telly?
When we won my first game in the south, when we won the South of Scotland League Cup final, that was a good one. But I remember, I'm lucky because I say that I'm a Rangers fan. So when I was growing up as a kid, I had so many great games. My first game that I remember watching on the telly was the Scotland Cup final. I think it was 1988, was it? David Cooper scored that free kick. The rocket, with the left foot, and I remember that was the first game I remember seeing on the telly, and that was brilliant. I was also lucky enough to go to the game at Ibrox when Rangers came back for 2-0 down against Marseille to draw 2 each.
Okay.
The last couple of minutes, I don't know if you maybe remember that, but that was the first version of the Champions League when Rangers were cheated by Marseille. Anyway, so that was another one. But there's been so many, but so many.
If you have to binge a TV show or a film that you'd watch all the time, what would you pick?
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Okay.
You know that?
No, don't know that one.
Again, there's loads. Only Fools and Horses.
Okay, yeah, you can't get hold of that. That's a good series.
Showing my age a wee bit, maybe.
Nah, that's a good series. That you could watch that over and over.
Peaky Blinders is a good one as well.
Yeah, because it's long. It'll keep you going for a long time as well.
We're spoiled a wee bit with Netflix because there's just so much stuff on it. There's a lot of good football documentaries. There's obviously the Sunderland Till I Die just came back out there, so I'll get into that. You know what I like on that Last Chance U? I don't know if any of the guys out there have seen that, but that's quality as well.
Is that the American football one?
American football. It's in a college, and it's cool because it reminds me of a wee bit of an academy. So guys coming over and basically have to go to school, and they want all of these guys want to be in the NFL. They're all from like crazy backgrounds where their dads are in jail for murder and stuff like that. So, but it's really well done. So if anybody's not seen The Last Chance U, go and check it out.
Another wee recommendation for the guys to go with there. What about food wise? Do you cook yourself? Do you like cooking? What would you cook, or what would you have cooked for you then?
Hopeless. I'm terrible at that. I'm
Aye,
terrible. Growing up in Pollock, you get crispy pancakes and beans.
just all
Didn't
the
see,
yellow
didn't
food.
see a bit of fruit until you were 16. No, so I'm actually trying to get back. I'm trying to get into cooking because I started trying to work out a wee bit and try to. Because my diet's been see with the academy, and when you're back in Scotland and you're just running a bit, you're eating things on the go, so you don't really. I've never been great with that, so I'm actually going to try and learn how to cook a wee bit and maybe take a wee bit care to eat the right things. Try anyway.
Go on
Use
the
this,
Joe Wicks.
use this exactly. And use
Take
this
your
time and
cookbooks.
confinement to try and maybe learn. It's an embarrassment at 41. You don't know how to cook, though, innit?
Yeah, no, I like cooking myself, so it's something that keeps you occupied for a while. It distracts you from everything. It's a good thing to get into. You should definitely get into it.
Yeah.
But so what would you have though? What's your thing that you would want all the time? You have to stockpile. Obviously, you can't choose pasta because
I
we know
used to get
pasta.
when I could. I used to get sushi all the time delivered.
Right, okay.
Like pan of sushi. So I used to get that to the house all the time when now they don't deliver because obviously the confinement and all that.
Yeah.
So
You need to figure out how to make it.
and that's a challenge.
That can be your first thing, and then you can show everyone how you got on.
Yeah.
But we'll just kind of finish up with just a kind of a summary of like how you think the Braves have been this year. Well, so what's kind of kept you while you're in France? What kept you occupied this year with the Braves? Have you been quite happy with it all? Is everything planned out the way you wanted it to go? And has it ended obviously a bit prematurely with the COVID, but has it ended well that you know next year we're going to progress?
Hope so. I mean, there's enough there. I think the guys have shown enough to show that there's a real potential there. There's a real good squad of guys. We say to the guys, though, being a good squad of guys and being good in the dressing room doesn't win you games. Sometimes I think we're maybe too nice, but certainly it's really. I mean, I'm really proud of the guys. I'm really proud of everybody that's connected with the club, whether it's yourself, Roy, or whether it's the players or even the fans that come. I know we don't get a lot of fans, but the guys actually do come and take the club into their hearts. It's. I'm so proud of that. I'm so proud that we've created that. I'm so proud that anybody that shows any kind of affinity towards the club. You talk about, what does it mean to me? That's what it means, that we've created something that people really start to develop an affinity towards.
Mm-hmm.
So on the park, it's if we can just get a bit of consistency, if we can keep the majority of the squad and add to it, hopefully a couple of guys next season, maybe a few more, senior players with a wee bit more experience. I'm sure Ricky and Richie and that are working on that. Then and if we can start again and the experience that we have this year, then there's no reason why we can't improve on our league position this year. Having said that, though, it is a really, really difficult league. It's a very, very competitive league.
Mm-hmm.
And on our day, we can beat anybody. But that could be said for the same for most of the clubs.
Yeah.
So it's good. It's a good league. It's only going to get stronger with the West maybe coming into it and stuff like that. So
Are you looking
so
forward
we
to
need
that?
to be.
Just kind of going off on a tangent. Is that do you think that'll benefit us, or do you think that might hinder us a wee bit for looking up the way?
No, I don't. I think it's a challenge for every club, but that's what it's all about. I mean, we've taken advantage of the pyramid system when we went into the south of Scotland. I've always championed incentive. So any league or system that gives clubs an incentive to be better, I think it's got to be promoted and championed.
Yeah.
And that will be the case, and it will make the league stronger. But we have to deal with that. We can never be frightened of that. We need to embrace that and use that to motivate us.
Be brave.
Exactly.
That's it.
Exactly.
Well, maybe we kind of touch on. You mentioned the fans have came down. I've said to a couple of the guys as well, and they've been really impressed that they're seeing new faces. Just if you've got a wee message for all the guys who do come down to the games and who watch like our highlights online, things like that. Like, you must be proud to have those guys.
I mean, definitely. I mean, it's good that the guys come to watch. Some of them in horrendous conditions, and they'll come down, and and I feel like genuinely, these guys have an affinity to the club. I think they actually genuinely like the players. They want to see them doing well, and there's that kind of human element to it, which is great, and it's what you get with a small club. You'll not get that at Rangers or Celtic. You can go and watch Rangers or Celtic, or even a Motherwell or a Hamilton, but you'll not get that kind of that kind of, dare I say it, that human element. So the guys have done well. Just Willie, who's one of the guys that comes, has to just maybe get a bit better dress sense. You know, he's walking about with be inspired, pink tracksuits on in winter and stuff like that. So
especially when the cameras were out that day, didn't get away from them.
No, but the guys are great, you know, and it kind of indicates a wee bit the whole thing of what we're trying to do, you know. All right, if I get a small group of fans, but if that small group of fans means it works to a certain extent. So now the challenge is, how do we multiply that? How do we turn 10 into 20, 20 into 40, 40 into 80?
Yeah.
So it's a work in progress. It'll take a bit of time, but as long as we're all working together to try and, you know, do our best and make sure we keep going forward, then we'll get there in the end for sure.
Yeah, I think that was good. So just thanks for joining us for the podcast. It was good to have you on. Hopefully people understand.
Thanks for having me, mate. It's about time we got a bit of quality on here now, because you know, I heard in the last couple of podcasts the listeners were dwindling. So hopefully this
keeps them ticking
over. Come back, do you know what I mean?
We are special with the owner, but hopefully everyone can understand who you are.
How good is it to have a podcast on Apple?
I know it does. It looks good, doesn't it?
When I was on my phone, I was like, the Braves join the Brave podcast on Apple. I was like, what? It's quality.
I know it took a while to get over the line, but we sorted it.
All we need now is a wee blue tick on our Instagram, and
we verified that with this. We'll be sorted. We'll be flying for next season. So cheers for coming on. It's been good to having a chat. Like I said, hopefully everyone understands who you are and what you're about, and not just the guy who owns the academy and the guy who owns the Braves. So hopefully we got that message across, and thanks to the listeners, and hope everyone continues to stay safe.
Hopefully we've not scared anybody away.
That's it as well. That Australian guy, hope he's still here.
Exactly. Right, mate. Right. Thanks a lot. You take care, right, pal?
You too. All the best to the listeners as well, and stay safe, guys. Stay at home.